Okay, the point I was trying to make.
Because you know your ass wanted to be outside. You wanted to go to the gazebo, nigga. You didn't want to go.
Oh no, I did think about, okay, yeah. All right. So here's the thing. I was trying to figure out what this holiday was all about because I'm really trying to keep the holidays as best I can. And I'm not a guy who's been like, oh, I'm keeping the holidays. I'm the Jew of Jews, like Paul here from the book, who wrote all the letters in the New Testament. I'm a stoner from Beverly Hills, from Los Angeles, the city of angels, who happens to have been from a Reformed family. My great-grandfather was a rabbi and a bet dean, a judge. But my grandmother was a little more Reformed, became a gambler, and my dad was very Reformed. But I went to Hebrew school for 8 years, so they still raised me as Jewish and paranoid. like everyone's out to get you. The Jews always have to be careful. Everywhere we go, we have to leave eventually, and that's why we need to protect our homeland in Israel. So that's the paranoia I grew up with, and we celebrated all the holidays at my grandmother's until my grandmother died. So since my grandmother died, I have not really been invited to the family gatherings and attended and and that was what I considered being Jewish, was going all the holidays, these holidays that are the ones we're supposed to keep every year. So I haven't really kept them. And then we never really kept them anyways. It was always get together with the family. So this year I actually fasted for 24 hours, no food, no drink. And I was like, I knew I would survive. It was suffering, and I was thankful to God when I ate again. And I was also thankful for the strength I got from the ability to hold back from all my temptations, because I wanted to eat at least 50 times and actually went for food or drink at least 50 times. And God went, hey, I got you, dude. Just be cool. You're going to make it. Hang on. And one, reminded me to do it. And then two, I was talking to God. He was helping me out to accomplish that goal. And then on this holiday, the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, I went to go be a stranger in a strange land and experience what our people did and take my children. And what I saw was my children adapted fine and were happy. And I had a hard time. I had a struggle. And there was a reason why the Egyptians had to die before they could go into the promised land. But the children who grew up, relying on God for their manna and living out in nature, they were ready to go and they were good to go. They had none of Egypt in there. So I think the point of this holiday is to recognize we all have some Egypt, some love of luxury, of even if we're slaves, we got color TV, we got refrigerators, we got cars, we got a roof over our head, we got stable government, we aren't starving to death. That's what they complained about. Moses, why'd you drag us out of Egypt to starve here in the middle of nowhere? Fuck you. We want to go home. The waters had closed up. They were stuck. So anyways, we weren't stuck, but we went for a week to experience the missing Egypt and suffering as strangers in a strange land. And there was some suffering, and there was some joy, and there was some communicating with God, because you really had to rely on him to be there to protect you from the weather, to keep you clean enough to deal with people and sane enough. And I was just going to go sleep in the booth, and do the Beverly Hills way outside in my driveway. We have already kind of like a temporary housing. I'm like, oh, that fits the letter of the law, but it doesn't fit the spirit of the law. And I think that is what this holiday is all about, is the spirit of relying on God, knowing what it's like to have compassion now when other people, immigrants, come to your country. Now, I am not for open borders, but I'm not for treating anyone poorly as well. So maybe the best thing to do is help these people go back to their country and bless them. Say, hey, instead of spending $8 million on you here, here's $2 million, guys. Go home, spend it on your future countries, and be entrepreneurs. You want to be entrepreneurs here, and if you have to have a revolution in your country too, then overtake your government. Foster change so that your government doesn't suck shit and you don't want to come here. So turn your homeland around where we're all free. So, but if oppression exists somewhere, then none of us can really be free. And I think that's why the American army can be used for good. We've just used it as a capitalist tool for exploitation like the Romans did. And they used our better judgment. It's just like, here's the thing. I've been thinking about police reform because we need to go speak to our city council. There's some bullshit going on in our city. And hopefully maybe we'll record what we said at our city council here for you guys and put it up. But one of the things I thought, if I ran the police department, I would focus on two things: securing people so they felt comfortable, and protecting people's rights. And I wouldn't focus on giving tickets and things like that. I would make that like a last resort. And same with putting people in jail. I would really try to create restitution, almost like biblical restitution, where people got paid back. If there's an actual victim of a crime, instead of locking someone up and costing everyone, the taxpayer, I would make that person work in that community where they committed the crime. And if you have to have a guard on them and make them work, or they're too dangerous, then lock them away for good. But otherwise, you put them to work. And I'm talking for years and really hard work, and let them get paid. But all that money goes to the victim of the crime. Because right now the government has turned it into a business for them. And we have more prisoners in America than they have in China, and that isn't right. So our government is corrupt. Our police departments are corrupt, and that's why defund the police resonates with so many people, because listen, our DEAs, our CIA, they've been dealing drugs. These people, you know, Mario can look up articles, these people, and I'm not saying all of them, but as institutions, they're bad. Just like the FDA is run by the drug companies. The SEC and the FDA is, in case someone out there doesn't know, is supposed to protect you from bad food and bad drugs. The SEC is supposed to protect you from criminal businesses who are operating schemes. Instead, they protect the businesses from people who are investing and purchasing real assets, like digital assets that they can trade back and forth with each other. And they're trying to regulate that, claiming some power they don't have, because they're protecting their banker class, who own them. So these institutions that are supposed to protect us, the courts, they're not. They're corrupt. And I know, because I've been through the court system. You guys have seen my videos. You know I'm not full of shit on this. Think of any institution in the government that's supposed to be there to protect you. It's there to hurt you at this point now, because whatever it was originally intended for, the people who it was regulating have taken over as the regulators. So you have the wolves guarding the hen house. This is just a fact. That's what's going on in the US right now. That's why I'm being banned from YouTube. That's why they don't like what I have to say.
What happened to Sukkot?
What was I saying?
I don't know. You got lost.
I got lost on Sukkot. Okay,
I mean,
well,
it's cool what you were saying. You
all right, well, here's the point. What I really came to realize is that it's good to be home, that you have a homeland, and at some point you have to be home, and your real home is wherever God is. So if you plant your flag and make a stand, you got to stand for liberty, for justice, for freedom, almost like Superman. These guys are superheroes. We have to be that self-righteous, and to do that, you need to be a Jedi, a Jesus disciple, because if you know what Jesus fought for, it was the truth, and he didn't break the commandments. And if you look at all the things they got mad at him for, that's where you know all the things that other people got mad at him for in the Bible. That's where you know he was doing the good thing. It's like all the reasons they're turning us off on YouTube and blocking our channels is because we're right and we're telling the truth. And if we weren't, they wouldn't be shutting us down. So what I learned from the Sukkot was...
fucking with our videos.
Yeah, they're fucking with our videos. But it's okay, you know, these are all challenges. We're going to Rumble. If you're still seeing this on YouTube, go to Rumble. All of our stuff is on Rumble. They haven't taken us down there. Make copies of it. I don't care. All I want to do is sell my NFTs to make money. Please take, if you believe in anything, clip, put it to music, bump, rap it out. Spread the word if you think what I'm saying is the truth. Anytime we talk about the Jabberwockies for the or the mask on the face, or the Bible about Revelation 6:2, or we talk about the war with the dragon of the East, who sends us a lot of cheap goods made out of plastic that break quickly.
It gets taken down.
It gets taken down. So we have to talk in code sometimes, just like the ancient Jews did in the book of Revelation, so we can get past the censors. So if you are still watching this, here's the lesson. I got to go meet these people in New Philadelphia. Here's the lesson, and Mario was thinking, oh good, he's going to do 2 minutes in his robe and get the fuck out of here. So if you think that the holidays are important, as I do, and I did, not that I did, and I always thought they did because it brought me closer with my family. But this year I said, all right, I want to get closer with God, so I tried to follow the holidays. I took my kids out to go camping. I was a stranger in a strange land. The lesson that I learned is, besides the Amish belonging commercials and look haunted, is
God is always with you too.
God is with you.
Grateful to be home.
He'll be with you if you have to go be a stranger in a strange land. Work hard. Don't give up. Be willing to suffer a little. Be a little humble, and God will bless you with friends and food and shelter, and you won't suffer for too long. And you'll come home, and when you do come home, wherever that is, you're going to be grateful and have a new connection with God, because you can trust him more, knowing that he's going to take care of you and make sure you're okay, even though it seems difficult. Not easy at all. Anyway, God bless.